Hi, it's Dan from eujuicers.com, and in this video I'm going to show you some different things about food dehydration. I'm going to talk about why a food dehydrator is useful, some features, what to look for when you're choosing a food dehydrator, and then I'll conclude by showing some different models of the Excalibur food dehydrator. But first of all, why a dehydrator? I've had one at home that I've been playing around with for about a month, and I found it to be pretty useful. What can you do with it? Well, there's a lot of things. The obvious thing that most people think of is drying fruits, vegetables, things like that. Normally the first thing people will do is dried apples. That's the first thing I did. Dried cinnamon apples, actually. And that makes a great snack. My kids loved it. I made a bag of it and it was gone in a couple of days, so I made a second bag of it. But there's more than just dried fruits and vegetables. I want to show you some of the things we have here. Fruit leathers. You can make your own fruit leathers. You take fruit, you blend it up, you spread it out onto one of these sheets, you dry it, and then you roll it up or cut it up. It makes a great natural snack for your kids, for yourself. You can do things like homemade crackers and flatbreads, especially if you're following a raw diet or a raw lifestyle. These dehydrators will go down to the temperature right around 41, 42 degrees, where you can stay into that safe range and still be considered raw foods. Things like, here we have some dried tomatoes, almost like sun-dried tomatoes. Parsley, here we've got a red pepper that was dried, put in a blender, and you have your own homemade spices, in this case, pepper spice. Got a lot of herbs here as well. These herbs actually came out of my garden this morning. My wife's really big on growing herbs. She likes to use them for all kinds of things. And this, when we brought home the dehydrator, first thing she did was start drying herbs. What do I have here? There's some thyme, some feverfew, sage, motherwort, salvia, peppermint, all kinds. We've got more than that. Let me tell you, why is that helpful? Well, the other day, what was it, Sunday, about 3 days ago, my wife had a bad headache. And she'd rather not take medicines if she can avoid it. She follows a healthy lifestyle, she's vegan. And she went out and she grabbed these guys called feverfew, and here they are dried, and she steeped them in some water with some lemon verbena, with some calendula flowers, and there's a recipe. We might do some recipes later. And in about 30 minutes, her headache was gone. So what does that have to do with the dehydrator? Well, that works great in the summer when we have fresh flowers. She can go out, cut them, immediately make an infusion or a tea from this. But what about in the winter? So what she's doing now in the summer, she's out there every day cutting these things, drying them, so we can have them for later. Some of the other things, one thing I wanted to bring up that was kind of interesting for me. When I brought it home, my wife said, hey, let's make banana chips. I just want to do a little warning. Those banana chips you buy in the store, those crispy, sweet things, that isn't what you're going to get from a dehydrator. And watch out. You ever look at the ingredient label of those things? My wife was at home eating those things. My kids come home from school with a bag of chips that they buy at school. And my wife's saying, oh, you know, why are you eating that garbage? I'm eating healthy stuff here. I said, look at the bag. Look at the back of the bag. Those things are deep fried in saturated fat, usually palm or coconut oil, coated with sugar. And about a 40-gram serving, less than a handful, has about 15 grams of saturated fat. It's like something going to kill you, like heart attack in a bag. And if you try making that in a dehydrator, you're going to get something different. You'll get small brown discs, which my wife tried to make, and they're okay. They're like banana leather almost, and they have an intense, strong banana flavor. If you make them with slightly underripe bananas, they turn out pretty well. Just don't expect those crunchy chip type of things. So again, dehydrator is really versatile. You can make pet food with it. You can make, cover your ears if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can make beef jerky, which is, for me, a pretty good snack, high in protein, low in fat, as long as you limit the salts and things like that. Really versatile, lots of things you can make with it. So next thing I want to talk about in just a moment is what to look for. If you're interested in getting a dehydrator, what are the features you should look for? Let's take a look. So what do you need to look for when you're considering a food dehydrator? Well, there's really two types of food dehydrators out there. There's a basic round type. They're stackable. These are the ones that are more likely to be seen in a department store or a discount store, often made from plastic. Those have a motor and a heating unit and a fan down at the bottom, and it's shooting air up, usually through a cylinder in the middle, and it's spreading the heat out, kind of like into a disc donut type shape. And those are stackable. They're expandable. You can add more trays to that. Then at the higher end of the market, you have the box type or the shelf type units, which are these Excaliburs here. But what are the things to consider when you're looking at a dehydrator? There's really 3 or 4 things. First of all is the heat and airflow distribution. It's very important that you have even heating and even airflow. One problem with those stackables, you have hot spots and you have cold spots. Typically, the trays at the bottom will be warmer, so you need to rotate. If you're doing apples, for example, you'll notice after some time the apples at the bottom and the apples at the inner part of that ring are dry, while the ones on the outside and towards the top are still moist. So you need to move things around. It's kind of a hassle. With a box type unit, a shelf type unit, there's even airflow distribution. Because at the back here, all of these units are the same. You have a heating unit going across the back and a fan, and it's pushing the air horizontally across these shelves that you see here. It makes for a completely even heat distribution. It's circulating around in there. When I've used it, I've had no problem. My apples in one corner and my apples in another corner, a lower shelf, were all equally warm. It's also another reason it's not so good to try drying things in your oven. First of all, ovens get too hot. You can't get them to a lower temperature, and also ovens tend to have really big differences in terms of hot and cold spots, and you really want precision when you're drying things. Another thing to look for in dehydrators is the access and the versatility. Let's say you're looking at one of these stackable dehydrators. What they're doing, they're usually coming in groups of trays, and if you want to get something off the bottom, you've got to take all the ones off the top. It's not very accessible. You can't just reach into the bottom and move things around. With a shelf type unit like these, you can open the door and immediately access whatever you want. They're quick, they're easy. That's one reason why they're more of a premium product. Versatility, what I mean by that is, can you put different size objects in there? Again, a stackable, you're limited. You have a very small space. With these, if you've got something bigger, if you're, let's say you got half a pepper in there, or maybe you got some big flowers you're drying for a craft project even, or a paper mache item, you can take out some of these shelves and leave just one at the bottom, or maybe one at the bottom, one halfway up. You have a lot more space to work with. They're very versatile. And the last feature to consider when you're looking at dehydrators would be the overall construction, the materials, the quality, and maybe some of the extra features. That's what I'll go into right now as we look at these Excaliburs. Now, if you ever look online, I suggest you go to different food bloggers. There's tons of them, health food bloggers. You can also go to review sites. You can look at different dehydrators and see what's considered the better ones. And you will find, you don't have to just believe me, you'll find most of these sites tend to recommend the Excalibur. The Excalibur is kind of the Rolls-Royce of food dehydrators. They've got a long history of making dehydrators. They have a very good reputation for quality. So what are the differences between the models? You can immediately see they look similar. They're all basically operating under the same principle. You have a box, you have shelves inside, you have a heating unit and a fan at the back, evenly distributing the heat. The differentiating factors tend to be the capacity, some of the extra features, and the construction. Starting with the smallest model here. This model only comes in black, and it doesn't come with a timer, but it will still do a good job on your apples and most products. It's smaller. Let me open it up. This is a 4-shelf unit. Only, like I said, only comes in black. There's 4 shelves in here. All of them have these silicone trays inside, which are fine for heat distribution. So again, this is the most basic model. You can set your temperature anywhere from about 41 Celsius, 150 degrees, or 105 degrees Fahrenheit, all the way up to about 75 Celsius. Again, another nice thing, all of them go down to around 40, 41. That's about the range you want to be if you're considering raw foods. That's what you're going to use for herbs, things like that. The higher temperatures will be for things like meat, jerkies. In the middle will be your fruits and vegetables. A handy thing is these larger units all have a handy chart right here. So I can see, oh, I want to do some herbs. Okay, I want to set it at 41. I want to make yogurt. Okay, I'll set that at 46. I want to make jerky. Let's set that at 68. It has a handy chart right there. Moving up, you have the mid-size models. These are a lot bigger. You have a lot more capacity. And there's one more shelf. There are 5 shelf units. Both of these are available with a timer if you'd like. And the nice thing about the timer, the one I have at home, is just what you'd think. I will start, for example, kale chips. We made kale chips the other night. I mixed it up at around midnight because I'm a night owl. Put my kale, some oil, some spices, some garlic, mixed it all up in a bowl, put it inside, started it, set the timer. And I think, I don't remember exactly, I think I was running this maybe 6, 7 hours. So the next morning, it shuts off about 6, 7 a.m. and they're done. So my wife can wake up, she's probably already up, and have fresh, warm kale chips ready to go. Timer really adds versatility if you're going to be out of the house a lot, if you're busy. But again, getting back to these 2 models, you have this one here available in white or black. Also, you can get it in stainless steel. The difference is, a lot of it is cosmetic. Some people like the looks of stainless steel. You also have the stainless steel trays, which some people just prefer not to have so much plastic around. The plastic is safe in these models. And again, you have bigger capacity because you have one more shelf and you have a bigger overall size. Finally, you come up to the biggest unit here. This is a 9-shelf unit, again, available in black and white. The black ones, you'll notice, I kind of like this, come with a clear door. So you don't have to open it up, worry about losing that heat if you want to see what's going on inside. The white ones do have a solid door, and the stainless steel is a solid stainless steel door as well. Again, available with or without a timer. And otherwise, functionally, these things are pretty similar. You're just talking about capacity mainly and the availability of timer or not. A couple of other things to notice I want to show you. You can get these optional, these are called Paraflex liners, and they come in 2 grades. This is the basic Paraflex. What you're going to use, this is almost like a really thick, high-quality baking paper. And this is to avoid drips to the bottom if you've got some real moist things in there. Or maybe you're making crackers or fruit leather, something you want to spread out. You can spread it out on this, and this fits perfectly on the tray. Although if you're doing a lot of fruit leather crackers, I'd recommend you go to the Ultra. This is the Paraflex Ultra. This is a lot heavier. It's really solid. And with this guy, you can make your fruit leather or your crackers. You know, you're going to mix your ingredients. You're going to have kind of a dough, a paste almost, and you're just going to spread it out to the corners, and then it'll fit right on the tray. It's designed to fit in perfectly. And from there, after your time is up, you can slice up your fruit leather, your crackers, whatever. So these are optional accessories, so that's kind of nice. And that's just a quick overview of the different models of the Excalibur food dehydrators. I'll be right back with some closing comments. So as you can see, the dehydrator is more than something just for drying apples or fruit. It's very versatile. Now in the future, we plan to bring you some video recipes where we'll show you different things you can make with these beyond just the basics. So we're looking forward to making those. Hope you'll check back here sometime once we've got those ready. In the meantime, I just want to say thanks for watching this video, and if you want more information about these Excalibur dehydrators, come to our website. That's excaliburdehydrator.eu. Till next time, thanks for watching.